All I care about is the content of your character and nothing else. It's like, when I was on the dating apps and like before I got into a relationship, um, it was like I was speaking to a couple of different women and having conversations, um, and over time, getting connected with a few different women until um, I managed to like narrow it down to just one woman, and that's like who I'm in a relationship with and who I have like like a more permanent connection with at the moment. And so, in the process of getting to that conclusion, it's like you have to deal with a bunch of different women in order to have that one woman that you're gonna really take seriously, and who you'd leave all the other women behind for. And there was this one woman within all the women that I was interacting with during that time, and this is like, yeah, it's 2 months ago now. Like, it was in April, and it was towards the end of April, but um, I would, you know, we started talking, and it was like we was just going back and forth. I think I made a comment on, she had like on her Instagram page, she kind of had like a bio that said Isaiah Isaiah 60:15, something like that, like chapter 60 verse 15, something like that. And I think it's a Bible verse, like a prophet. um and I just DM'd her asking who is Isaiah, or saying who's Isaiah, and just as a joke. And but then she replied, "Oh, it's a Bible verse, don't you know?" And I'm like, "No, I don't really read the Bible. I know a few verses off the top of my head, verses that just stand out to me. I don't even know who specifically said what." The one that I think probably one of my favorite quotes of the Bible that is just in my mind is I think it's something along the lines of, "Lord, forgive them, for they know not what they are doing." I really like that verse. I don't know, it sounds hard. I can't even tell you like why specifically I like that verse. It's just sounds Sigma, I guess. But we was going back and forth, building up conversation, um, and I at some point, within the same, within the same day. Like, this is all within that one day of speaking. So, like, a couple of hours going back and forth with each other, and then at some point she's says, like, I think she makes a joke about PayPal, and I'm like, because I no, I said before, prior to that, prior to her saying or bring it up PayPal, I said that I'm about to leave my home because I'll be going out to get some food. And I was going out to get some chicken wings or whatever. And then she made a comment saying, "Oh, I'd love if you can send something to my PayPal," something like that. And I said, "Oh, really? Well, I might just have to do it," jokingly. And then she, I think, replied back after, and she was like, "Sorry, I didn't mean that." And I'm like, "Nah, it's okay." Like, because I was thinking it's a joke. Like, I didn't think she was being serious. And then she kept bringing it up later, how she was sorry she mentioned that. And then I was like, "Why do you keep saying sorry?" And then she basically comes forward and tells me that actually I'm hungry, and I don't have, I don't have any food at the moment. And I'm like, "Okay, like, what's that got to do with me?" I'm thinking like, all right, like, so you want me to send you money? And she's like, "Yeah." Um, and then she's like, "You can transfer it to me. Um, I need the equivalent of like £7, something like that." And I'm like, it's not a lot of money. But for me right now, I don't like, I need £7 it's a lot for me, because I've got like, I've got bills that I need to pay. I've got business that I need to promote. So where am I really gonna find the £7 to give to someone who I've just started speaking to, within the same day they're now asking me for money, when the premise of our connection is for, like, to get intimate and to get to know each other over a period of time, before things start to lead into like any type of dating, you know what I mean? And like financial exchange, like the emotional exchange has to come before that, you know? Um, but I was taken aback. I was like, well, I understand, I get that. That sucks that you're having to go through, a period of hunger. Um, and she was like, yeah, it's just until I get paid. And I'm thinking in my head, like, well, you were alive yesterday, you're alive at this current moment, you know. What's to say you won't be alive tomorrow, Um, and I don't know her situation, and whether she's, has pure intentions. But regardless of whether the intentions are pure, I'm also thinking, all right, well, what if I do send her this £7 after within less than 24, literally like maybe far less than 24 hours in speaking, within about 2 hours of speaking, something like that, 2, 3 hours, you know? Um, what kind of precedent is this going to set for the relationship going forward? And she's saying this is the only, this is just for this one, this moment in time. I'm only going to ask you this once. Like, I'm just going through it right now. And I'm like, oh, so you happen to be going through it right now as I've connected with you, you know, through the internet. Like, I don't know, like, how's that, like, how is that not a coincidence? How is that a coincidence? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just seems manufactured to a degree, but I can't say that for sure. I can't confirm that because I'm not her. I don't live her life. I'm me, my own person. So I don't know whether she's telling the truth or not. And even if she is, again, I'm thinking, okay, but if I send you this £7 now and we don't have any emotional connection established with each other yet, are we going to continue to talk over a period of time, or are we, and get to know each other on a more emotional level, or are we just going to continue to talk over a period of time? And even if we do get to know each other more emotionally, but you're going to use that as leverage so that later on you can ask me again in another time of crisis, when you're facing um, an episode of hunger, that you can ask me for money and just keep asking me for money, because if I've given you it on the very first attempt, the very first try, the very first time in which she had asked me, it's like, then what kind of example am I setting? Is that anytime she's going through a period of hunger, the first thing she's gonna try and do is ask me for money, you know? And I don't know if it's because, I was speaking to her, she's from a third world country, and I'm we're in the UK, I'm from a first world country, so um and I'm not gonna say the exact country in which she's from, but yeah, that's got nothing to do with me. Like, if you're really hungry, then why is it that you're out here speaking to me and potentially a bunch of other different guys, trying to get a feel for, which guy's gonna give you the best vibe? At least I would hope over a longer period of time, right? Just to then ask us for money in like a rotation. Like, you know, um, we're not rotisserie chicken. Like, you can't just take a bite out of each one of us whenever you feel like it. It's like, um, if that's your situation, then cool, but you have to work that out. That has nothing to do with what the original premise of the conversation was. So yeah, it's like, you gotta, I'm just like, with the way my character is, it's like I'm not really going for that, the context doesn't make sense, so it just instantly had me like, no, I'm not really messing with that. I went back and forth with her for a little bit without sending her any money for the next few days, and eventually I just blocked her. She tried to hit me up on other platforms, I just keep blocking her. But yeah, I feel like you guys kind of gotta watch out for this, because when you're out there trying to find a potential candidate, like as a wife, you gotta like get to know people's character and like what people, if someone is trying to manipulate you or not, because a lot of people are doing that out here. They're trying to manipulate people for things, for material gain, for spiritual, emotional, financial, all different types of gain, honestly. And you got to just clock it and realize like if someone is reciprocating with you or not.